Right? I've heard a lot of people say, when you come into Africa to come and invest, bring money. And I've heard, that's not true.
Don't bring money.
Wait, what?
You know, when I left the UK, my family members were laughing at me. Kweku, you're going to live to Ghana. You're going to move to Ghana. Are you sure? Ghana is not easy. What can you do there? There's nothing there. We left there. Why are you going back? You have everything in the UK. We have fantastic designers in Ghana. We have fantastic engineers. I believe we've got the best engineers in the world. And you haven't taken it upon yourself to find the best architects, the best engineers to execute your dream. You've taken it upon to contact an emotional decision, a family member who may mean well, but they don't have the expertise to deliver. And when the result turns out that the roof, the foundation, the land is all gone wrong in terms of construction and infrastructure, why do you now blame that person that had no experience in that field and leave the money aside? Because we can smell the money. And if we smell the money, we will take that money from you. When you come to Africa,
Welcome to the SuperHuman Mindset Podcast.
If you don't have belief in what you're doing, it'll be very, very hard for you to get others to believe and follow on.
What do you want people to remember about you?
And you know, there's a small, still voice within you.
Think deeper, live higher. Most Africans lose a lot of money due to real estate. I've been a victim of this. And I've been on the journey in the last 10 years to figure out why. And today, I am sitting with somebody that has the answers. Kyei Ayensu. And we share the same name, guys. So today, he's going to spill the tea, and I am excited to share whatever he shares with you. But before we get started, if you have not subscribed, come on, right now, pause, hit subscribe, like, and share with your friends, because today is going to be fire. All right, so Mike, tell me, you've been in this business for over 20 years.
Hi.
What's the biggest lie that we tell?
I think, before investing in Ghana or in Africa, I think the biggest lie is Africa doesn't have the potential to be great, or Africa isn't great already. We are told to believe that the Western world, whether it's the US, the UK, and other parts of Europe, is what we're aiming for. But the biggest lie is that we have everything we need here on a continent. And the sooner we believe that, the greater we can become as a nation, the greater we can become as a continent, and the greater we can become as individuals. So I believe that, and it's our slogan, the new Africa already exists.
The new Africa already exists.
And we need to believe that to untap the potential that's here.
So what I'm hearing you say is this whole perception of we are building a new Africa has always been there.
I think, when there's a potential anywhere, the potential comes within. It doesn't come from exterior motives or exterior ideas. It comes within. The fact that we have natural resources, we have the land, we have the expertise, the potential is already here. So Africa already has what people tend to seek for. And that's the reason why it's always on the radar with the rest of the world.
So, I've been away for about 17 years. I grew up here, went to high school here, did all of the fun things here, and then ended up going to the US. And I've done a whole lot in media, cybersecurity, all the way up until now. And what I remember is when I first got into the States, it was not cool to say you were from Africa.
Hey, I grew up in the UK. Unlike you, I didn't go to school here. I didn't do none of the fun things here, apart from visits. And to be honest with you, it was not cool to say you were African. But that's where it starts from, isn't it? And it's to believe where you're coming from is a place to respect.
Yeah.
And we're on this journey right now.
We are.
We're on this journey now to change the narrative. And what we're doing right now is a contribution to communicating what should be seen or should be heard. So yeah, I mean, hey, we can make changes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when diasporans are coming down to, you spend time there, you want to come to Ghana, you want to come to anywhere in Africa, you want to invest. What are the things that you've seen, experiences you've had with these misconceptions that they have that causes them to lose money?
I think I've said it before. I said it recently on a panel discussion in the Guba diasporan discussion that we had recently. The potential in the market is there.
Yeah.
And we don't really need to change that as much. But the process is what we need to work on.
Okay.
The process on acquiring, whether it's real estate or doing business or owning anything in this terrain, is where the difficulties come. It's not so much the potential, it's how can I obtain some of these things. Mindset.
Okay.
And if we shift our mindset when we come to Africa or Ghana, then we can make progress. But if we come with the mindset that, hey, wherever I learned in the States, I'm going to apply it here.
So are you telling me?
And I think that's where you will hit the wall.
Are you telling me, working for Fortune 100 organizations, building cybersecurity programs for them, speed equals success? Are you trying to tell me that doesn't work here?
I don't think totally everything that you do outside works here.
Oh.
And I also don't think that totally everything that we do here works outside. I think you can massage some of the ideas. I think you can explore some of the knowledge and exposure that you have from outside.
Yeah.
And incorporate it within your ecosystem here. But, Africa is Africa because this is Africa. And Europe is Europe because
It's Europe.
that's Europe. And the same with the US and Asia. So how often do you go to China and decide to implement all the ideas from the US into China? So why do we feel when we come to Ghana we should implement all the knowledge and ideas and ways systems work in the US to Ghana? You can fine-tune some stuff. You can implement some of the ideas. You can introduce some of the technology. But not everything works here in the way it works in the US. I'll give you another example. Mobile money.
Yep.
Mobile money has been active in Ghana and other African countries for some years. I think it started in Kenya. It's been quite big in Ghana for the last 10 plus years. Mobile money is a method of paying for goods and services via your phone.
Yep.
But this technology is not privy to those that live in the UK. You can't use your mobile number to make payments in the UK.
Okay.
So if we say that, the UK is advanced,
Yep.
these are things that we're doing here that's not been done in the UK. So we kind of have to balance.
So what I'm hearing you say is change the notion of, oh, I'm doing this there, it's working. I'm going to bring it down here and it's supposed to work magically.
Yeah.
Basically have segregation is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, I think change the notion that where you're coming from is better than where you're going.
Oh.
I think changing the notion of, I know more than the other person, or I speak better than the other person, means you're far advanced than the other person. Language doesn't mean that. And technology in other parts of the world doesn't mean that they're better.
Wait. Take that slowly.
Take it back.
Take it back. Because you're
Let me
going,
reverse
language doesn't mean much.
Language doesn't mean that you're more advanced than the other person.
Oh, so the fact that I can speak British English or speak American English doesn't mean I'm better than the next person.
No, it's a way of expressing yourself. If you express yourself in a local language, then you're able to articulate yourself in that language. You still can articulate the situation, but if it's been given to you in another language, it's a struggle. It doesn't mean that the English language is advanced than the African languages.
Wow.
So we just need to bear that in mind, that articulating yourself in a language doesn't mean you're more educated.
Yeah.
You have book smart and you also have street smart. I don't think one subsides or the other.
So you've worked in the UK and now you've worked in Ghana. What's your experience been like?
It's been a challenge. The challenge is I spent so much time trying to understand the business in Ghana. And in fact, you need to learn the culture. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Business can be done anywhere in the world. If you have a business idea or business head, then you can apply it anywhere in the world. But what stops you from making it or succeeding is the terrain and the culture of the place that you're going into. And I think in Ghana, the challenge I had when I first got here is that I was trying to understand, how do I make this business work? But in fact, if I kind of sat back and looked at how do I understand how people live, how people interact, how we socialize, how we're family first before business, invite a person over for dinner before you actually do business. Then maybe there'll be more progress. I think the challenge I had was I took all my exposure, my ideas from the UK, and I thought I could apply it totally to the African way. And I came in 2012. And I remembered, I thought, within a year I would be up and running in terms of business.
Quick.
I sat with a friend who moved some years before, and he said to me, 7 years it takes for you to understand and make progress. And I said, no way. 7 years.
7 years.
I'm not gonna take 7 years to be successful.
I have all the systems. I got all the answers.
No. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna get it done quickly. I'm gonna hit this ground running. I'm gonna make that money. I'm gonna make profit. I'm gonna be successful. And that was in 2012. And I think looking at myself in 2020, 2021, just after COVID, I was still trying to figure it out. But yes, there were some lights under the tunnel. But the reality of the ground is that accept the change, accept the terrain, accept the people, accept the culture. And in doing that, you will make progress. And where we are today with Jacob West, we have made that progress because I've accepted how to implement what works in Africa and introduce that may work that I've learned in the UK.
Accept the change, accept the terrain. What's been your most painful real estate story?
I think the most painful real estate story would be not just the real estate, it would be the entire business. And working with the local artisans has been a huge experience for the journey. I think we almost went in with the idea, I went in with the idea of, if you're a skilled worker, you do your job. And the pain is that I didn't relate to the local people very well at the beginning. And because of that, I lost a lot of money.
So you lost money on labor?
I mean, it's been...
just let me say this. I've heard this, right? I've heard a lot of people say, when you come into Africa to come and invest, bring money. And I've heard, that's not true.
Don't bring money.
Wait, what?
When you come to Africa, bring your ideas, bring your exposure, bring your knowledge, learn the culture, and leave the money aside. Because we can smell the money. And if we smell the money, we will take that money from you. Yeah? If something costs $5,
Yeah.
it will be $20 to you. Something costs $50, it will be $200 to you. Because you have no knowledge of the terrain, you have no knowledge of the culture, you have no knowledge of what things and how things are done. So leave the money aside. Come and learn the ground. Come and learn the system. And put yourself in the system to understand how things are done. Then when you understand, then you bring the money.
Wow. Yo. This is... I've always heard, carry money with you, go in there, go hit it hard, hit it big, and now you're telling me don't do any of this. Don't bring your money, leave the money at the door.
I think that's the American way. You go in, you take over, you conquer, and you get out. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It has to be go in and understand and learn. And when you understand and learn, then you'll make the money.
So right now, you've been able to build your company from ground up. What's your team size?
So we have a few segments to our business.
Okay.
We have the real estate side, where we do our marketing, design, concepts, and it's more office space. And we have a team of 10 doing that.
Wow.
Then we have the construction side, where we develop the houses. We have our engineers, architects, site managers, steel benders, carpenters, etc.
Wow.
That number is something that I can't even articulate right now.
Because it kind of goes up.
And then we have a third section to our businesses where we sell building material under a subsidiary, J West Construction Hub. Mm-hmm. And with that, we sell the cement, the iron rod, the sand, the stone, etc. And small procurement and logistics. With that, we have another 5 team members.
You're busy.
We're busy.
Wow.
We're busy.
So let me ask you this then. You've met all sorts of people from the procurement side, from the artisan side, from the building side, and then you've seen a lot of diasporans come, you work with them, you build homes for them. Who would you say should not invest in real estate?
Someone who doesn't have the heart and patience to understand the terrain that they're going into.
Yeah.
If you don't have the patience, Ghana's not for you. Many come on holiday, they spend 2-3 weeks, they fall in love with the place, and it's understandable. This is a fantastic place to be. Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic country. We have beautiful people, our food, our music, our weather, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you can get caught up with the emotions. And being caught up with the emotions, you want to invest. You want to be part of this change, right? You want to be part of this change. You want to be part of this progress. You want to be part of this new Africa. It's understandable. And you want to do things quickly.
Yep.
And, I'm in my 40s. I don't look it, but I'm in my 40s. And our parents moved from here in the 60s and the 70s. To the UK, to the US, and just think about their journey. They went there with absolutely nothing. Yeah,
true.
Some of them went to study, some of them to look for work.
Yep.
Some of them had no idea what they were doing. They were just jumping on the plane and they were going.
Going to go figure it out.
And when they went to the UK, because I can only use the UK as an example, they didn't go to the UK with the idea of changing the UK to be like Ghana.
Oof.
Yeah? They didn't go to the UK and say that, within a few weeks, I'm going to acquire something. They didn't go to the UK and say that, everything that they're doing here is wrong. Everything everything that we were doing in the UK is wrong. Why are they doing it like this? Why are you not allowed to walk into a neighbor's house and be with them as family? That was the African and Ghanaian way. So I always say that our parents, or the parents' generation, they moved to the UK and spent years there before they could establish themselves. And they were willing to be there for years and learn the European way or the Western way of living and adapt some of the way and the culture. So I get it. We come emotionally, we love Ghana, we want to be part of this market. And within a few weeks, we take harsh decisions and acquire land or properties in areas that we have no knowledge on what's happening and what the future brings. And I just believe that we need to be a bit patient when it comes to investing in Africa, in Ghana, and understand this terrain, this continent. I've traveled to various African countries, and it's alike.
Yeah.
It has its slight changes, but it's alike. But coming from Africa to go to another African country, I had a head start. And it allows me to kind of look at things with an African eye. So if you're coming from Europe or the US or anywhere else in the world that is not similar to Africa, please just take your time and understand and accept how things are done and implement small changes or adapt to what's been presented and tweak it a little bit.
I have a question for you. You are watching me right now. You just came from America. You just came from Europe. You just came from somewhere else, Asia, wherever. And you fell in love with Africa. You fell in love with Ghana. Then you're over there talking about, oh, well, this is not working. That's not working. I have a question for you. When you went to wherever you came from, did you try to change the system? That's what we're talking about right now. Or you decided to understand the system. So why can you not bring that same mentality here? Why can you not just sit and then ask yourself, do I even understand this? This is the man who builds your homes for you, and he's telling you, cool it down. Don't just throw money into real estate. And I got to ask you this though. So how about the other ones that are saying, yeah, you know what? Sure, got it. Yes, I left. I was here, stayed here most of my life. I went over there. I understand the culture. It's not like I'm coming in new. I understand it. I was born here. Now I got money. And I just need somebody else who can, get the contractor, get all of these people to build for me. What do you tell that person?
Do you know, the funny thing is, from my experience, and it doesn't mean that I'm right, but from my experience, those that lived and were born here and moved out of this country to wherever it's the UK, the US, and spent years, 20 years plus in the US, 20 years plus in the UK, I find that they find it harder to adapt back to this system. For me, I only know the UK. So if I'm moving somewhere, I have to change and understand where I'm moving to. So it's a transition.
Transition for you.
But let's say, for example, I decide to move back to the UK now, after being here for 14 plus years. It's going to be very hard for me to accept how it is there. Because how I left it is how I'm expecting it to be. And a lot of the older generation that lived in the US and the UK for years, their memories and ideas of Ghana is how they left it. Us, the generation now coming into Ghana, when I left the UK, my family members were laughing at me. Kweku, you're going to live to Ghana. You're going to move to Ghana. Are you sure? Ghana is not easy. Can you? Wow. What can you do there? There's nothing there. We left there. Why are you going back? You have everything in the UK. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for them to comprehend that there's an opportunity in a place that they left in the 80s, it's harder for them
Oh, so
than
that's
for
where
us.
that's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder for them because, you know, if you look at the 80s, people left Ghana because it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And they looked for greener pastures.
Yeah.
And in setting themselves up in the UK or the US, they acquired things. They made a life for themselves. They were settled. They have a house, you have a car, you have a family, you have assets, you've had your kids, they've gone through the education system, everything is fine. And imagine one of your kids turn around and say, we are going to that place
that you just came from.
left 30 years ago to do business. So I find that if you were born, not all, obviously, but if you were born and raised in Ghana, you leave for 20 plus years and decide to come back. Your challenge is more. Because you have in the back of your mind what it should be like. But for me, I had no idea. I never grew up here whatsoever. I haven't got those stories of walking to school with my mates and how the school teachers were and what the roads were like and where the buildings. I didn't have any idea.
You just
had a neutral mind.
Wow.
So I just came. And when I came, I dealt with what was ahead of me.
Wow.
So for those that say that, you know, I know what it's like. I'll give you an example in real estate space. Our parents' generation of living in the US, and I keep on saying the same thing over and over again. You lived in the US for so many years. You've acquired a property through a mortgage system. You jump on a property ladder, and it may work for the same in the US as the UK. You jump on a property ladder, you acquire a house, a flat, or whatever, and it grows in equity. And that equity gets you going to move on to a bigger and a better asset. So you refinance, you take your equity out, and you can purchase 2, 3, 4 more properties because you have equity from your house. So that's how you grow in the US, right? Now, from what I just communicated to you, where is finding land, finding a mason, finding an architect, digging the ground, registering your land, and all of those things that come with it comes into the equation. What does come into the equation is, I have an auntie or an uncle back home. You're feeling bad, huh? I have an auntie. And you know, the auntie and the uncle is not a builder. They work in government or they work in a private sector.
But they know people.
So I'm going to send huge amounts of money to my auntie. And she's never managed this kind of money before. Or my uncle, or my brother, or my cousin. And they are going to execute
my dream.
Perfect dream. And the dream that you have in your mind is this house in North Carolina, Florida, Miami.
Oh my goodness.
Yes? And you want this person who is a caterer, or a school teacher, or a science teacher, or they could be a carpenter, or whatever it is. You want this person to take your hard-earned investment money that you've saved over the years and build what you dream,
my dream house
in your mind, and the design and the finishing and the technology that you've seen in Atlanta or in New York, in Ghana.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that my ideology is wrong?
What I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to tell you.
Tell me.
I'm trying to tell you that the problem doesn't start with your auntie or your uncle. The problem starts with you.
I mean, how?
The problem starts with the fact that you entrusting someone who has no expertise or knowledge in a field and no management skills in terms of managing your funds, managing your building, and communicating that to you overseas with no time frame, no quantities, no architectural detailed drawing, no structural drawing, no mechanical, electrical, plumbing drawings, and you want this person to achieve
My guy,
your dream home.
My guy, listen. You are Jacob West. Jacob, please, let's come back to life. My auntie, my uncle, they are prayer warriors.
Yes.
They believe in God. Hey?
Yes.
Do you see the vision?
Yes.
And you're telling me that they can't do it?
What I'm saying to you is that we have fantastic designers in Ghana. We have fantastic engineers. I believe we've got the best engineers in the world. And you haven't taken it upon yourself to find the best architects, the best engineers, the best MEP members to execute your dream. You've taken it upon to contact an emotional decision, a family member who may mean well, but they don't have the expertise to deliver. So in fact, you've put your burden onto them. And when the result turns out that the roof, the foundation, the land is all gone wrong in terms of construction and infrastructure, why do you now blame that person that had no experience in that field?
Now, at this point, I think we're gonna have to change. We're gonna have to change your name from Jacob West to Advocate West, because dang, this man just broke everything down. That just made me cringe as he was because if I'm in the States and I'm trying to build, I'm not talking to anybody that's not a builder.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to buy real estate, even real estate.
Let's look at a different sector.
Yeah.
If you're going into the bank, you're entrusting a financial advisor.
Yeah.
You're not going to a bakery to ask someone who bakes cakes to invest your money in the bank, right? So why on earth are we going to people in this market that have no expertise in construction and development and acquisition of land to fulfill your dreams that you've worked hard for so many years?
But I have a comeback for that.
Can come back.
Okay, let's talk about this comeback. I believe that most Africans, yes, now we label it, we call it emotional decisions, right? But I believe most Africans make decisions on this topic not because they can't find the architect themselves, not because they can't find the interior decorator or contractor themselves, but they make this decision because of the way our culture is. Hey, Kofi, so you are building this house, you didn't tell me. Now, if something goes wrong, okay, fine. I think that's where the disconnect comes in, because imagine your dad, who's a teacher or who's a scientist, finding out that you're building a home, and then you went to work with all these architects, land surveyors, and they were not involved.
So
it's disrespectful.
To kind of come back, you just hit a few things and you didn't realize it.
Talk to me.
My father, born in Ghana, he's lived in the US for 35 plus years. Yeah. When he moved from Ghana in the 80s, he first lived in the UK and then furthered his education his career in the US. He started off in New York, he moved to North Carolina, and he ended up in Florida. He became a doctor in medicine, right? When he left Ghana, he did not look back. I'm 20 plus, 30 plus years. I mean, literally did not visit, did not stay in contact, did not look back. Yeah. Wow. He lived in the US. They traveled to the Caribbean. He studied in the Caribbean. I mean,
did his own thing.
He's done absolutely well for himself, and he's still alive today.
Wow.
When he decided to build his house in Ghana, he took the approach of contacting his brother, his friend, and people that he knew. And I was in properties. I was in the UK at the time. I wasn't here. And he contacted me to come and have a look at what he's acquired as, an emotional thing. Son, this is what I've purchased.
Yes, I've done it.
So I came into the country, and this was like 2006, thereabouts. This is way before I moved to Ghana, right? So I remember we drove all the way up to a place called Dodua. And it wasn't just Dodowa, it was Dodowa village. And I didn't have any idea where we were going.
Dodowa in 2006.
Dodowa in 2006. Dodowa village in 2006. So we drove down to Dodowa, and it was 40 minutes plus drive from Accra. And I didn't know where we were going. And when we got there, we all got out the car, and he had his brother, and he had his friends and his family members around. And he was so excited to show me that, son, I've acquired this land. And I had my business hat on. And I said to him at the time, and he's a doctor and he's a scientist and he's an educationist. And I said to him at the time, I said, this is good for the future. And I said, possibly 15 to 20 years, you've made a good investment. And he said to me that, oh, I don't have any idea. And that I will see. Anyway, fast forward a few years then.
Yeah.
And he engaged his family and friends to build. He didn't want his son to build, even though his son was in the property market. He wanted to show that, you know, we
got it.
We can do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turned out that this property that he built is on a waterway. And the local government or council are not willing to put the roads in because it's underdeveloped. So he cannot access his house at the moment because it's waterlogged. He has no neighbors because no one wants to build at this present time. And we're how many years on now? 20 years on. And the place is underdeveloped. This decision was very emotional. It was done because he wanted to own a piece of where he came from. He had been away for so long, and he wanted to own a piece of his homeland. He wanted to show that he's coming to invest back home. That's good. And I believe that the emotional side of things is the starting point.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't totally ignore the emotions. Right?
Yeah, of course we can.
You feel something and you want to contribute, right? So we can't totally ignore that part of the process.
Absolutely.
But we need to combine it with the financial part of it, the investment part of it. And when you put the emotions aside, he engaged the wrong people. He invested fine, but he could have waited. It didn't have to be a residence. It could have been a commercial building. It could have been farming. It could have been so many other ways to give back to your motherland. It doesn't always have to be residential.
That's good. That's really good. So let's just double click on that a little bit. If I'm a diaspora investor, I'm thinking about investing in Africa, investing in Ghana. If there were 3 things, checklist, that I should do before I spend a penny or a dollar, what would those 3 things be?
There's probably more than 3 things, but I'll give you the 3 that I have on top of my head.
Okay.
First thing is make sure that the acquisition process exists for that property that you're looking for.
Wait. What do you mean, make sure it exists? The acquisition process exists. What?
What do I mean? You're acquiring a property. It's an investment. If you take your money and put the money in the bank, I'm sure they would give you an account number. They'll give you an address.
Yeah.
They'll give you possible ways to access that money, whether it's a checkbook, a credit card, debit card, or some sort of online transfer system. Right? So it exists. Now, if you're if you're acquiring land,
yes,
and I ask and I say and I state, make sure the acquisition process exists. What are they giving you? And what is the process to acquire that investment for you to legally own and say that I have purchased something that is legally It's legally sufficient for me to do anything in the future.
Yep.
So if it doesn't exist, then you walk away. So that's the first thing I would do.
Okay.
The second thing I would do is understand the area in which I'm investing.
The area.
Yeah, I mean, some roads go in later, some roads go in earlier, some lands and properties will be affected by that, positively or negatively.
Wow.
Positively, if you buy a piece of land in an area that now they develop a major road, and that community now benefits because more developments come up, commercial, residential, then fantastic.
Good. You found a unicorn.
But then if that land that you've procured is on that expansion plan, then you'd be affected by it.
Gets taken down. Wow.
So learn about the area, learn about the terrain, learn about the possibilities in the area. And the final thing I would do is decide what I will develop on that land. Decide, is it commercial? Is it industrial? Is it residential? Is it farmland?
Wow.
And if you do these 3 steps and make sure you always take these 3 steps, I think then the process of acquiring property in Ghana is a lot easier.
Wow. I wish we could keep on going, but we are far spent on our time. So I want to ask you one last question. In 20 years, you've done this in 20 years now. In 20 years, what would you want Ghanaians to say about you and how you shaped the real estate landscape in Ghana?
In 20 years, I would want to at least leave a mark in the sector. I would want Ghanaians to say that I became entirely Ghanaian. I didn't come here with my understanding of the UK and say, I want to make this place like the UK. I came and I wanted to contribute to what Ghana is now and make it better. And contributing to something, hopefully you're making it better. And I would like people to look at me and read and say, this man contributed and made this place better.
You know, I know I said that was my last question, but you just triggered this big one that I got to think about for a second. Can people truly become, and maybe that's just a question for you listening to me, wherever you find yourself right now, Dubai, America, UK, wherever in the world you find yourself right now, that you have moved from Africa to get to this place, can you truly become an American, a British? As he just said, in 20 years, he wants to truly become a Ghanaian. Can you truly become whoever it is, and wherever you are at? Is that a thing?
I think that we evolve, Ghanaians evolve, English people evolve, the Americans evolve. And if you're part of that journey at the time, then you can say you're part of that place.
Wow.
So whatever Ghana looks like in 20 years,
Yes.
if I'm part of that journey and that change, truly, I'm a Ghanaian.
You're a Ghanaian. I love that. So what would you tell 25-year-old Michael Kyei, who's deciding to move back to this uncharted territory and do it big and fast and quick?
I would tell a 25-year-old is come and learn the culture. Believe that what is here has huge potential. Don't come and change things. Come and contribute. Be patient. Accept what's here. Accept the culture. Accept the people. And believe that the new Africa already exists.
Well, you heard it all. Michael, this has been a very insightful conversation. Very, very deep. We're able to hit a lot of the angles. And if you are listening to me, I've been in your shoes. I've lost money. I've made emotional decisions that have cost me not just money, but also time. You don't want to keep making those mistakes. We're in 2026. If you have an idea, you want to develop, you want to build, you want to architect, please, please, please find the right people. I'll take it again. Find the right people. Let the experts do their work. And at the end of the day, guess what's going to do for you? Give you back your time, give you back your money. Yes, it might be a little bit expensive, but it's well worth it. I bought this property, beachfront. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm about to be balling. I'm about to build this nice dream that I had in my mind. I get there. A year later, someone has already built on it.
Was it an acquisition process that you believed it worked?
And then when I saw the documents, when I brought the documents back to the commissioner that supposedly had signed it, he goes, wow, that does look like my signature, but that's not me. So, doesn't mean it's all bad. No, it's not all bad. But that's on me. For now, I've done the due diligence. Make sure you are doing the due diligence.
For sure.
So, Mike, thank you for coming on the Superhuman Mindset. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
What do you have coming up that people should know about?
So currently we're building a gated community. We're building communities in an area called North Legon, Logba. 4-bedroom townhouses called Bethel Gardens. We're aiming for the upper mid-range market. We're starting at 185,000 USD, and obviously equivalent to the local currency as well. And you can find us at www.jacobwestgh.com if you want further information. The New Africa does already exist.
Right, you heard it from the man himself. The New Africa already exists. Thank you for joining.
Nice.
All right, thank you. That was good.